Welcome to the Thriving Artist Podcast, where we share strategies and support for artists to thrive.
We know that the art world can feel like a lonely place, and we want to provide a network of support, impactful strategies, and an abundance of encouragement to help you grow your authentic art career.
We're your hosts. I'm Jamie Smith.
And I'm Kaylan Butine, and we are also the co-founders of the Thrive Together Network, a community of female and non-binary identifying artists and artists who are caregivers.
We truly believe in community over competition, and we're so glad you're here. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome to another episode of the Thriving Artists Podcast. I'm Kaylan Butine, one host of this podcast, and I am currently prepping materials for our virtual residency, which is happening pretty much right now. I'm trying to get a lot of art done this season, so I've got a lot to prep.
And I'm Jamie Smith. I'm your second host, and I'm currently sketching out a few large drawings, working on compositions, trying to get them ready so that during the residency, I can just be drawing away. So trying to get prepared. And of course, on the theme of art residencies, today we have a special episode for artists because we're going to discuss doing a virtual residency. And, we were wondering out there, any listeners that have participated, maybe you've done ours, maybe you've done another one. But as artists, we're always seeking opportunities to grow, learn, and immerse ourselves in environments that foster creativity. And we believe in art residency really does that. Mm-hmm. So we have experienced this art residency ourselves, but we also have all our members that have done this as well. So we've kind of collected 5 lessons for you for this episode to kind of hear why it's been meaningful for us or for other people. So we're really excited to share.
Yeah. And, I think maybe sometimes there's a little bit of stigma around a virtual residency versus, a physical residency that you might go to. And Jamie and I really believe in the power of virtual residencies in kind of this hybrid model of getting to do what you want to do on your own in your own space. So you're building out these habits and, methods for yourself that work in your home, but also while you have the structure of the virtual community of the planning tools that we provide. So whether it's our virtual residency that you participate in or another virtual residency for artists that exist out there, I think part of what we're trying to do here today is break down the stigma a little bit of virtual residencies and just to say that they offer so much. You don't have to get in the car and drag your family to Colorado to experience a good art residency. Mm-hmm. Speaking from experience. So I actually got a lot more work done in the virtual TTN residencies than doing that one that I did.
Yeah,
I didn't love
it. Is a lot.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to start us off with, some insights for participating in a virtual art residency. The first one is that you get to embrace virtual connections. So, as artists, we rely on our connections, on our network for so much, for everything that we do as artists, Many of those connections are in person. We want people to show up to our exhibitions. We want people to buy our work. But there's lots of things that virtual connections can offer us that you can't get from an in-person residency. So you get to connect with artists from all over the world. You get to plug into Zoom calls that are very convenient, just opening your computer for 45 minutes or rewatching a video rather than, kind of setting up time to travel to go to a specific place to meet an artist. So we really think that, this idea of embracing virtual connections is something that is much more valuable than maybe we initially give it credit for. And there's just so much that we can gain from connecting with artists on a global scale and artists who are all doing the same virtual residency together. It's a very powerful experience.
Well, I think about our weekly check-ins for the residency, and we have 50 to 75 artists that come there live. And I think about often if we're all in a room together, how
Mhm.
much energy that would produce. And probably I would talk to a few people, but because online we're put into breakout rooms, I actually get to know over the month quite a lot of different
Mhm.
artists. So there's something about the virtual connections that I think we're starting to get to see that value as a community for sure.
Definitely.
And our number two insight is creating a personal studio space. So that's something when you're going to a different residency, you're entering a new space, which can be super inspiring, but also take some effort. Like it sounds like going to Colorado, Kaylan,
Mhm.
packing up, getting set up. And what we really ask of people is when you're doing a virtual residency, you're creating your current situation into a situation you want.
Mhm.
Sometimes people already have that. They already have dedicated space. They already have their whole workflow set up. But sometimes the virtual residency acts as a real catalyst for this to create this sort of sanctuary free of distractions, focused time. And sometimes that can't happen without sort of this excuse or this container of a residency. So we encourage, members that just to pick a desk, pick a living room table. It can be a box that everything goes back in for the family, but where do you create work and how important that is? So creating a personal studio space during this time can really foster habits that we want to see kind of ripple out from the residency.
And I think the nice thing too, if you're somebody who doesn't have a designated studio space, is that it's for a short amount of time. So our residency program is for 6 weeks. Really, 4 of those weeks are the work weeks. We do two prep weeks before that. And so you do have this kind of set amount of time that you can say to like your family or to yourself, like, yes, I'm going to be taking up the dining room table for 4 weeks to do my work, but it's only 4 weeks. There's a start and a stop, right? And,
Yeah.
maybe that will inspire you all to put your resources into an actual studio space for you. And if you're somebody who already has a studio, just speaking from personal experience, I have a backyard studio. We turned my garage into my studio. So that kind of carving out a space for a studio isn't something I need to do. What I love about the residency experience and putting the effort into prepping my studio for the residency is I have 2 times a year, because I follow the whole TTN, curriculum throughout the year, that I know my studio is going to get clean and organized. And like,
Mm-hmm.
if there's nothing more valuable than just kind of taking a week or two to reorient your space, to reorganize your materials, to get yourself set up, even that is a habit that I feel like the residency has taught me related to my studio space. Is like anytime I'm about to kind of do a big series of work, it's like take a week to prep and organize. And
Mm-hmm.
I love how that part of our virtual residency program really connects to this idea of like making a studio space for yourself, and building good habits around the studio. So I'm going to move us into our insight number 3 for, doing a virtual art residency and why they provide value. And that is self-motivation and time management. So in a virtual art residency, you don't have this like external structure or routine that comes from a physical residency. There's lots about it that is the same. You have a structure, but you're not like going to Colorado from August 1st to August 14th or whatever it is. You don't have this like kind of set space or set time that is set by the idea of going somewhere else. What you have is your own personal motivation and time management within your own space that you need to kind of get organized and create a plan for. And we really love this because we feel like it helps you, again, as we've said, build habits into your actual life rather than kind of experiencing this vacation style residency where you're going away and coming back and it's very disconnected from the life that you have. So we actually spend a whole week before the residency planning out our goals. We kind of write out what our plan is for the residency. We spend a second prep week getting our materials organized, as I've said. And we've really seen, big leaps forward for our members who participate in these residencies, because they're able to create and maintain a daily routine that actually works with the lifestyle they have. So it's not
Mhm.
this set apart thing. It kind of becomes, how can I integrate, the model of the residency into my everyday life? We really think that an online or a virtual residency gives you the freedom and flexibility that you might want, but the loose structure that we, kind of provide for you can help you build meaningful habits that you can maintain after the residency is over, which I think is really powerful.
Kind of proves that it's possible even in
Yeah.
your regular life. So
Yep.
yeah, and number 4, for a virtual residency, something that it does is it kind of builds that online presence, because again, you're not in person and you need to make these connections virtually. So it's a really great opportunity to share a lot more on social media, have this in your newsletter, and just to keep up with other artists. Like, I find it so inspiring seeing what other artists are doing. Working in this global community is really helpful and kind of pushes and gains confidence to seek collaborators, but also to find other shows, curators. Like, it really puts that online world right in front of you rather than relying on what's physically there. So I find that really useful because I always need a push in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it really is a resume builder. You have this thing that you can put in as a bookmark, and it is a professional opportunity. You're building connections, but then it also is for you. It helps you build your residency and plan out your year. And this connects to kind of the 5th insight that we're sharing about the value of virtual art residencies, is that they become these cornerstones for you to plan your year. We're especially talking about this in the context of the way that we run a year through the Thrive Together Network. When you become a virtual member of our community, we plan for 2 residencies a year, one in January, February, and then one in the fall, usually September, October months. And they, kind of provide the structure where you can look at your year and you can say, what else is happening? When do I need work prepped? When do I have shows coming up? Is it the right time for me to plug into the residency, maybe make, a bunch of my work in the January, February one for the fall? Maybe I have some big shows coming up. It really can help you plan ahead and get in and get out of the studio in ways that are meaningful and very impactful for your scope of your whole year, rather than just thinking, of this one short-term little blip on your calendar that often a physical residency can be. Not that physical residencies aren't very valuable. That's not what we're
Yes.
saying, but we're just trying to show you that virtual residencies sometimes offer even more by way of connecting to your real life
Yes.
than a physical or set apart residency can offer you.
Well, and it's why for us, we've created 2 that happen during the year, spring and fall, because we want these to be really cornerstones, and we've included it into the membership and into programming. So you don't have to join TTN and then choose, am I going to pay extra or is this an extra thing? Instead, this is all part of it, because we do believe that it creates this dedicated art making time each year. And I know for you and I, Kaylan, we really need it. And we need that focus at that time.
Yes, the focus is so good. And I love just kind of knowing that I have this rhythm I can plug into, and it really is connected to my highest priorities as an artist, of getting the work done and, kind of planning and staying organized. So we hope you found these tips, these insights that we shared helpful and inspiring. And we hope we've changed your mind a bit about the power and value of virtual residencies. We are running a virtual residency program right now. By the time this episode comes out, enrollment is open and you can join us. All you have to do to participate in our virtual residency that's happening in January and February this year is to become a member of our community. And actually, you get the best deal when you book a whole year with us. When you join the annual plan, you'll pay upfront and save a large percentage. But we do also offer a monthly membership. If you're just not really sure and you want to try us out for a couple months and see, you can head to www.thrivetogether thrivetogethernetwork.com to join us for this residency and kind of learn everything else that we have to offer. Because while I think you could book to become a member just based on the value of our virtual residencies alone, we have some other amazing programming that comes with your network membership. So
yeah, and we really encourage artists to spend a year with us, spend some time with us. We're at this fresh new year. It's a really exciting time, and all of our memberships come with a 2-week free trial. So if you're on the fence, you can always plug in and see what you like and see if it's a fit, and then join us for the rest of the time. So we're really excited to share this with you. We hope that you can use the cornerstones that we've offered to art residencies in the year. We want to give you access to creating habits in your life, and we know you can do it. So as always, we are here for you. We are cheering you on, and we believe in the work that you're doing as thriving artists.